A bit of a different video today. This is the dream smartphone in 2017. We've taken the best bits of a lot of different flagship phones this year and we've smashed them together into this beautiful end product. With that being said, I really hope you enjoy the video and let's get started. So first things first, whilst this video is just a bit of fun, there's only really any point to it if we make it realistic. It would be very easy to say for me, I want the 10,000 mAh battery from this phone, and I want the 50 megapixel camera from this giant DSLR, and I want it to be at the price of the Moto G5. But for me, that kind of takes the whole point away from it. This video is all about seeing what is conceptually possible to actually be produced in this day and age. So first things first, we're going to take the AMOLED display from the Galaxy S8 Plus. This is, first of all, not only a beautiful display in terms of color reproduction and contrast, but it's also got a very good size. This is a 6.2-inch display, and it fits into the body that is barely larger. Not only is 2K more than enough to do anything you want to do on your smartphone right now, it even does VR content very well. I love the way the screen almost melts around the edges of the phone, and this makes it not only one of the most impressive displays visually, but also one of the most eye-catching ones from a distance. Unfortunately, the S8 and the S8 Plus are not unbreakable. A lot of people have reported that when they do drop the smartphone, it is completely shattered. So what we're going to do to correct for that is the recently announced Moto Z2 Force. We're going to integrate the Shattershield display from there into this smartphone. And we know this could work. We know that it would not add too much thickness to the phone's display because, taking a look at the Z2 Force itself, it is one of the slimmest flagship devices available today. So you guys know that I love the finish on the rear of the Huawei P10. They call it the Hyper Diamond Cut finish, and in my opinion it is a very good balance between something that looks premium because it's metallic, but at the same time something which is grippy and doesn't attract fingerprints, so it looks as good on the year after you bought it as it did on the day you bought it. However, as it stands on the Huawei P10, the finish isn't perfect, so integrating this kind of textured finish with what we've seen on the Moto Z2 Force, which is a 7000 series aluminium finish, and we could create something that not only looks premium, but is also completely unbreakable, completely unbendable, and something which doesn't show up any dirt. Now the next thing may be a little bit controversial, but we're going to take speaker inspiration from the iPhone 7. Now the iPhone 7 had a very good implementation of not only using the speaker on the bottom, only the right one in this case, but also utilizing the earpiece on top. So it uses whatever audio can be produced out of this to create a slightly more immersive effect, primarily, and the most important thing here, by not taking up too much more room. Clearly these aren't the best speakers on a smartphone. The ones on the HTC M7 for example would blow these out the water, but unfortunately they required a lot of circuitry, which in the end made the phone feel a little bit too long. So in the dream smartphone we're going to utilize two downwards firing speakers and at the same time the earpiece on top, and that should create a nice stereoscopic and immersive experience. Now whilst we haven't seen this integrated into any commercially available product right now, the technology exists. So with this new smartphone, what we want is a screen-embedded fingerprint scanner. We know again this is possible. We know we're going to be seeing this in smartphones by the absolute latest early 2018, but maybe sooner. And this is seriously important, as we learnt from the Galaxy S8. The fact of the matter is, the fingerprint scanner, if not placed underneath the screen, has to be placed on the back, and this is always going to be, if it wants to be hidden away and not look as obtrusive as the Google Pixels, a little bit inconvenient to actually press. Now that wouldn't be a problem if the face scanner or the iris scanner were a little bit more consistent, but as it stands, unlocking this device is a little bit more inconvenient than it has been in the past. So when it comes to battery, again, it's going to be very easy for me to say I want a 10,000 mAh capacity squeezed into a 1mm space, but clearly that is just not feasible given today's technology. And so for me, because any phone under about 8mm thick is comfortable to hold, what I'd say when it comes to battery is to make the battery as large as possible while fitting within that space. And all things considered, for that we could expect something between 3200 and 3600 mAh, which is fine. We also want Samsung's Exynos 8895 chip inside, just because on the whole, whilst it is sort of trading blows with the Snapdragon 835, it is considered in multi-core scores at least to be the more consistently higher performer. So in terms of gaming, in terms of benchmarking, in terms of UI performance, it should just be a little bit better on average. So let's talk about waterproofing. Now a lot of 2017 flagships so far do have a waterproof feature to them, but unfortunately what the companies might not be telling you is this is only an IP67 rating. So the 6 in the IP67 means it is completely sealed against dust, and the 7 means it can withstand water immersion up to 1 meter, up to 30 minutes long, which when you think about it isn't really a lot. What we really want to see is IP68 or above, and what that means is you could then submerge your phone for longer periods of time than 30 minutes and at a greater depth than 1 meter. And that's useful. I mean, if you're ever in a bath, for example, you don't need to worry about keeping the screen underwater. If you're taking your phone underwater for some sort of diving expedition, you could do that. This could not only be a smartphone that can withstand a spill or a drop in water, but it could also be a phone that you could use as a complete underwater camera. So guys, that is my dream smartphone. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd be interested to hear what your guys' opinions are. Let me know in the comments below what your dream smartphone would be, and with that being said, I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.